In this episode, I service some fire extinguishers and do a fire risk assessment in a pub. I service a crappy old fire alarm in another pub, and I try and get the rest of those over 300 fire extinguishers back to my yard. Friday morning, got a few jobs to do today. I got to message a guy in a second. So 2 jobs today. We've got 2 similar buildings. I've got a they're both kind of like pub restaurant type place. So we did fire risk assessment 18 months ago. We're also the supplier of the fire extinguishers, and we've booked it in for today. So I think we're possibly going to be reviewing the fire risk assessment. He's asked us about fire protection, barriers, fire stopping, intermittent paints on the timber and stuff inside. You know, he's done the place out really nice and all this sort of stuff. Also, we've got a similar type of premises, which is another restaurant and like old pub setup that's turned into a restaurant setup. And that's over in Leicester. And he was the guy that didn't show the other week. We turned up and it was a no-show, and so he's left us notes now to say to ring him on the way over, and if we can't ring him, leave a message and text. Because if we can't get through, leave a message and text, because he's not on site, but he can meet us there. Ambiguously, it just says, if I look at the notes, he also needs another heat detector, please. We've not ever serviced a fire alarm yet. This is a takeover. We only did the extinguishers a few weeks ago. Don't know why we didn't do the fire alarm at the same time. I think we mentioned, maybe I mentioned at the time, we also can do the fire alarm, so he's got us back in for that. So I've got heat detectors of certain varieties on. If it's just a standard Apollo heat detector, you know, Series 65, something like that, that's not a problem. It's probably something we can do on site. But I think this is one of those where he goes, oh, I need you just to do just fit a heat detector while you're here. But is that like a swap? Has he been told that he needs a swap? Does he need? Is it a new bit of building that he definitely needs a heat detector for? Is that on, or I've left that on? After that, and pick up the rest of all those extinguishers. So we've picked up, I think, all the 9-litre foams. I've now got to pick up about 200 or 150 5k CO2s. Hopefully I'll get all that done. It'll probably be a late one. It's Friday, but they said they're literally there until 2 o'clock in the morning. Let's get in here. Let's do this one. Let's see what we're working into. I'll bring my toolkit. I can grab my... Yeah, we'll go take the extinguisher kit to start off with, because we know we definitely do that. All right. Extinguishers are done. To be fair, they're not too bad. They're pretty switched on when it comes to fire safety. In terms of the build, in terms of the extinguishers alarms, they kind of know what they're doing. They've just kind of like lost track with the risk assessment and stuff, which is like really, really easy done. And a lot of people do. Because at the end of the day, you're running a business, you're not thinking about what we do, fire safety and all this, that and the other. So they've had an audit from the local authority. This is the fire exit here. And we're going to have to the inspector actually pulled a drop down, then slide there. It goes to the exit. The basket that needs to go above here. It's missing a hinge down here, and it's smoke seals. So, and that's a fire door. Then also, fire door keeps shut, so I need to go on that one as well. Right, that's that one done. I've got to get to Leicester now. Wasn't too bad in the end. When I kind of do these, and I'm kind of showing you stuff inside, I'm obviously not showing you everything. I'm just trying to show you snapshots and things like that. A, I can't really go around and show you everything. B, I don't really want to show you too much of the business in case people recognise it, because it's not really fair. If I went into every single business, every single premises around the country, I would find things like this. And that wasn't too bad at all. They've actually were quite switched on. I think it's just all the admin, it's all the life admin. I get that. I really struggle with all that. Yeah, I just like to, like, you know, show the odd thing. Oh, this is interesting, it hasn't got a hinge, this is interesting, stuff like that. Because I'm sure people are going to watch this and go, well, you haven't looked at this and you haven't looked at that, and what about that? I'm not going to go through an entire report, or I'm not going to go through every single thing at a site. I'm just kind of showing you snippets here and there. That's that one done. There's a big long list of stuff we're going to send over to him. He's going to email us. He needs some prices on pat testing and electrical testing. The pat testing's changed now, or is changing. A lot of people are doing pat testing, don't realise what goes into pat testing. You've got your basic standard pat testers, but pat testing's going through some changes and stuff at the minute. So basically, pat testing, there's a lot of like talk and arguments about whether they should just call it safety electrical testing, because it encompasses a lot more than just testing the kettle in the office. You've got fridges, you've got things like hand dryers, stuff that goes into a fuse spur and it's on a switch, possibly and technically might need pat testing and stuff like that. So there's a lot of other areas. So we need that. He needs a lot of general advice on procedures, so we're going to send him some templates. This kind of, you know, raises an issue. I was just thinking in there, I need to get Arabella in the office trained up. Anyway, right, I need to get to Leicester. I've got to go and look at this alarm. I meant to text the guy actually. Bugger, I never texted him, I got distracted. Right, I'm going to ring him now and say... fire alarm service. This is the panel. Yeah, I would say all but gold, but more just all but crap. It did work. They're very... just what they are, conventional panel. I mean, not the neatest job, but it's clipped in and everything. It's very much, I mean, I suppose it's very much like the job we did the other day. That's quite neat. Been painted over. It's the our fire off has been in, and because there's no detection in here, basically they've said that's the kitchen. There's no fire door in the kitchen, so you want there's no detector in here. If you can see it, there's a lovely ceiling there. There's a lovely ceiling there, and then I think this is actually like an old staircase. Bike's in the van, by the way, because obviously I went to training last night and I left it. I put it in the van this morning so I can clean it at the unit. Do you know what I'm absolutely sorry for? Is I did have about 10 metres of FP in the van. And I've got a heat detector in stock, and I've got a base, and I've also got, where did I put them? I've got some conduit boxes. It needs a core point as well by that back door. I wonder if I could get some FP from somewhere. I need about 5 metres. I wonder if there's a wholesaler around here that can just do me 5 to 10 metres of FP, and then potentially I can do this job. Back at the panel now, just having a quick look through the logbook. Hasn't been serviced in a while. I can't get any FP cable. There's no FP anywhere that I can get any FP from locally without buying a whole drum, which I'm not going to do because I've got plenty of stock back at the unit, and we get it from a different source which is cheaper. So plus also a core point needs to go there, and looking at a couple of other bits, I think there's a few other little bits that are going to be doing. So I think I was kind of hoping, it's just typical because I've come with the idea that we're going to be doing this job late with the extinguishers, so I didn't put too much stuff in the van. So I need the big ladders to get up there anyway. So I need to bring those, I need to bring extra cable, so it's going to be like a whole other bit to book in, and I have a sneaky suspicion there'll be a few other bits to do as well. So I might as well service this system, find out if there's anything else that he's doing, and then just come back and do all of it one day. That makes more sense. It was just one of those where you think to yourself, oh, actually it's not too big a job to do that, and put a core point there, and put the detector up there, and I could probably do it in an hour or two. Let's get it done because I'm here and it saves coming back on a journey, but it's one of them. Cracking on. In the kitchen is this cupboard, and the cupboard houses a boiler and a distribution board, and so there is no detection in here. This is a fire door seal, although it's been painted over, which it shouldn't be, but obviously I'm going to make a recommendation that should really have a detection in there. Once I've done up and I've just been round did all the service, made all the notes. None of the exits have core points, or there's not enough core points on the exits. There's a couple of other exits. So I'm just going to go around now with my app, do the cert, make a note of everything, and then also look at some of those extras and sort of get an idea of what the job will entail and how much to quote for, what the cable runs are, what the cable routes are, how long it'll take, what we needed, etc. Just make a bit of a list so we can put a quote together and a bit of just an accurate costing. I think he'll just say go ahead anyway. Well, he's pretty much said just go ahead and do it, but it's just good if we can give a just idea of cost so he doesn't get a bill and say, oh, I didn't know it was going to be that much. It turns out one of our time to do it anyway, do those extra bits, because he was literally just pushing me out the door then because he's got to go. Got to get to his son is coming back from uni for Christmas. Now I've got to get back to the yard. I've got to unload the van, and then I've got to get to this customer and pick up the rest of these fire extinguishers and hopefully get all that done today. It's 2 o'clock. It's going to be like a 45-minute hour drive back to the yard and then half an hour to there. So it's going to be at least 3:34 by the time I get there. Fire extinguishers aren't there. That means I've got to ring them. And let's see. Do you ever feel like you're getting deja vu? Right, so just got back to the client, and unfortunately now it's that time of night when all the lorries, all the wagons are coming in. So I'm stuck in the queue. And I've got to wait my turn. Look at that. Look at all them. Woo! That's a lot of extinguishers, a lot of use. Back in the office. I have not been in the office for ages. Check this out. I been teaching myself CAD. I've got a 3D printer. Coming at the weekend as usual, and I'm going to sort downstairs the workshop out and the yard out and stuff like that. And now I had a little bit of money come in from a few places. So whilst it's going to come in, I did the wages yesterday. So Belle got paid. What I need to do next is the subcontractors. See if we can start paying some of those off. So I'm going to do that now. Got some emails from accounts. So time now, it's 25 to 7. They sending me a statement. Brilliant. I've not had an invoice for that, so I'm going to chase them and tell them I haven't had an invoice, and also that your supply was... So this is typical. So this is that one from the other day that didn't send everything on time. And I knew this was going to happen. So the invoice date is the 20th of November, which is when we ordered it, but it didn't turn up until last Monday? No, last Wednesday, which was December, and then we didn't get the job done till Monday, and we haven't been paid yet, and now they're chasing their money for it. So I'm going to send them a polite email telling them to go fuck themselves, because you messed us about massively, and this is the one which I want to actually talk to and just sort of say I'm very disappointed in them, that they used to be really good, and I feel let down. But there's no way, if they think that that's due, it's not due. It's not due. So yeah, and they haven't even sent us an invoice. They sent me a statement chasing the money, saying this is your statement, this is what's owed. But they've not actually invoiced me yet, which is crap. So bad points all around. Yeah, cool. That was one hell of a week. That was Friday. See you in a bit.